Welcome to Happily Ever After, the podcast where we talk about life's big stories. From great sex to sexual trauma, breakups and breakdowns, icky secrets, and happy endings. It's the stuff that makes us human, and boy, do we cover it all. I'm your host, Hannah Harvey. I'm a writer and a parenting blogger at mumsdays.com. That's mumsdays.com. I would be very grateful if you could subscribe and leave a review because it means more people can find the podcast. And I also really love hearing from you, so please contact me through Instagram at mumsdays with all your stories of life and any thoughts you might have on the episode or even questions you want answering. You can find all the details from this episode in the show notes. Hello and welcome to Happily Ever After with me, Hannah. And this week I'm joined by Katie, who is my partner in crime, the other half of my brain, the love of my life.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Katie helps me edit the podcast and is a regular visitor on the podcast over the 36 episodes?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We're doing all right.
We're doing all right. So I thought we'd get together today, Katie, just to catch up, because I've not seen you for since February.
Yeah, a little while.
And we also had set some resolutions. I want to see how you're getting on with those.
We had set some resolutions, and I mean, there's resolutions in the loosest sense, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mine was like, get a haircut, buy a bra, send a card. I've done 2 of the 3 things.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
What is the thing that has not made it?
The thing that hasn't made it is send the card to the friends who got married last summer. And I think because it's too late to do that now, I'm just going to send her a nice message instead.
In a card form?
No, just on the internet. It's too late to wish them congratulations on their wedding last summer.
That's true. Yeah, I think you're right. I think so. The beauty of knowing when to say, I'm not going to do that, is quite liberating.
It is, especially when your resolutions are as small as mine are.
Your resolutions was a checklist of to-dos.
Mm-hmm. But I got my haircut.
I'm glad you got your haircut and you got your bra. That's awesome. I'm trying to remember what mine were. I had a word. Mine was a word, and it was play. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I still feel like I'm embracing that a bit.
I think so too. And actually, I noticed it in one of the, I think it was the podcast with Becky a couple of weeks ago, where you were talking about play. I definitely think that's still part of what you're doing.
Yeah, and yeah, I've been thinking more about sort of what it actually means to play, and I would quite like to write maybe an essay type book thing on it, because I think it encompasses a lot of different elements of life, and it can be very useful for making you do things that are scary.
That's true.
And certainly with things like because over the last month I've been, it was end of February, I was doing my yoga teacher training, and I was really not sure that I wanted to go into teaching yoga. I thought I was doing it as a way to kind of deepen my own practice, and the process of going through the training is very intense and you learn a lot about yourself, so I thought that'll just be what it's for. But then coming out of the back of it, I was like, well, why don't I just have a go at teaching it? And if it doesn't feel right, I don't have to do it. But it turns out I love it.
Yeah, that's great. I feel really pleased for personal reasons.
Ooh, you're going to come to my class.
I'm absolutely going to come to your class.
Yay. So that's, I'm starting a class. In fact, when this goes live, it will have already happened. Mm-hmm. But you just have to have a go at this stuff, don't you? And I think, what's play for me as well isn't necessarily for other people, because I've learned a lot about it and I know about it, and I can then pass that on and teach it to other people, and whatever happens, I know that they will come out of the experience better because I know this yoga is so good. You're going to love it, Katie.
I'm so excited.
So thanks for coming for that.
Ooh.
So yeah, I guess, to be honest, this first half of quarter of the year hasn't felt overly fun.
Yeah.
There's been quite a lot of death that has affected not just my life. I've seen it with friends online and people that I'm close to, and yeah, but it does feel like now, and anxiety as well has been a big thing that we're talking to Jambo about in a few weeks. But it does feel like now that we're into spring and that whole sort of spring energy and little lambs jumping around, that sort of vibe is starting to come out again. So hopefully there'll be a lot more chance to play.
Yeah, it does feel like spring's clearing the air a little bit. I've been holding on for dear life, waiting for it to arrive.
Come on, spring.
Yeah.
It's when you get snow in March. It's an absolute brutal, please, it's supposed to be spring next week and we're still getting snow. And then all of a sudden get a day like today and it's absolutely glorious and just, changes the energy. So that's been awesome. And then the other thing that happened, Katie, I don't know if you're aware, but I turned 40.
I think I might have heard that had happened.
Oh my God, I was really dreading it. And yeah, I wrote about it in the newsletter. That sort of like, and I felt bad for dreading it.
Why did you dread it?
Well, I don't think I was actually dreading it. So at first I was like, oh my God, I'm dreading it. And then felt guilty for dreading it because I'm like, loads of my friends are much older than me and living great lives and really inspiring me. So who am I to think it's a bad thing to be 40? But then when I actually turned 40 and I kind of sat with the feeling, I was chatting with a friend of mine who was... Well, she basically said, she's a bit older than me, and she said at my 30th birthday, she had a terrible time because everyone got really drunk, and she was pregnant, and she said she just felt knackered and fat for like the whole time, and she was like, that was basically my 30s, was looking after young children and feeling pretty knackered. And it helped me go, oh, that's what the feeling was. It wasn't that I was dreading turning 40. It was feeling a bit sad about my 30s.
Yeah.
And like I didn't do as much as I wanted to, that kind of vibe. When actually, there were some really tough times, and raising children is tough. And often as women, we can get lost in the process of not just having children, but other life stuff and getting married and partners and relationships and just not necessarily feeling like we're making progress on our own stuff. So I think there was a little bit of mourning for that, like, oh, the last few years have been a bit tough.
Yeah, I get that. Feels like wasted time, but there is no wasted time.
Yeah, it did, especially the transitional years of like moving from being married to not married. Oh, that's the other thing that happened this week, is I've finally got the papers through saying that I'm divorced.
Yay!
I don't know if it's yay or not, but
it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, like I knew it was coming, and it's, obviously what the aim was, but it obviously comes with, it reminds me of the episode with Lee from The Life She Built, and she said the moment you get your divorce papers isn't necessarily a happy one. It's a moment of going, shit, I can't believe I've made it through all that.
Yeah.
So it's all sort of come at the same time. We've got spring, we've got turning 40, we've got the divorce is finally through. And I'm ready for a holiday.
I bet.
I think so. So luckily it is Easter holidays and I've got lots of nice trips planned. But what I did do, instead of like lamenting how sad my 30s have been, I've written a list of 30 things that were great about my 30s. Would you like to hear them?
I would love to hear them. I would.
And being as you're just a baby at 32, you'll have to let me know which ones you can relate to.
Yes, okay. I'll do that.
So number one is I had a second baby.
Was baby number 1 in your 20s?
Yeah, so I was 29 when I had Reuben.
Mm.
So I remember turning 30 with a babe in arms. Didn't stop me getting very drunk at that party.
No, happens.
Number 2 is that I kept the first baby happy and healthy for 10 years.
Yeah, that's something to celebrate, definitely.
Yeah. So he's been doing all right. Number 3 is I developed very good dental hygiene.
Got to celebrate the little things. Actually, it's not a little thing at all. Dental hygiene is extremely important. Forget that I said that.
It does feel it.
It is.
Like I finally floss and use those like in between brush things.
Mm.
And I had my teeth straightened.
Apparently it keeps you alive longer.
Having good teeth.
Yeah.
The other thing about my mouth is I don't have enough adult teeth. So I still have a baby tooth in my mouth.
I mean, you've just turned 40.
I've got a baby tooth in my mouth. So yeah, you've got to look after these teeth because I just don't have enough, and I don't have any wisdom teeth. So the ones I do have got to last. They got to last.
Yeah, they do.
So you got to look after them. Tick. Develop that in my 30s. 4, I started a podcast. Did you know?
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. I'll have to listen to that.
And it's like becoming or is one of the big loves of my life.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, I know we're just chatting shit right now.
Well, yeah.
And that's, but that's nice too, and catching up, and I get lovely messages off people, and...
You've had some amazing guests. I've enjoyed every episode.
Well, that's a good job.
Especially the ones with me on.
Aww. It's a good job since you're the one who listens to them.
Yeah, I do.
And picks out all the quotes and stuff. Number 6, I quit drinking.
It's big.
It's a biggie. I think it was a long time coming, and then when I finally did, it's like been awesome. And obviously I spoke about that back in one of the episodes, and people have written to me since and said that they've quit drinking because of that episode.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily like, I don't want to be the evangelist on giving up drinking, but only if it's a problem.
Yeah.
So if someone feels like they're not enjoying drinking anymore, they're the people that I want to be like, it's okay, you can do it. Like, you're not going to miss out, because it's all the fears you have around quitting that I want to reassure people that it's not as bad as you think, and you will cope.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you want to drink, crack on. Absolutely no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
I won a blogging award.
Oh, very good.
It was a very long time ago, but it was in my 30s.
Yeah.
And it's still a win.
It's about the whole 10 years.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it was a while ago. Still something to celebrate.
Mm-hmm. I fell in love with yoga and became a yoga teacher.
That's a big one.
And it's recent as well, so it's nice that it's like I squeezed quite a few things, actually. So I felt like the last 5 years are wasted, but actually quite a lot of the things on here happened in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually been, like, probably you crammed a lot more into the last 5 years than you did in the first.
Yeah, like sneaking the last few things in.
Yeah.
I had to be really brave. I'm quite a people pleaser. So I really don't like conflict, and I really don't like saying no to people. And I feel like that's something I've getting over and getting braver at doing those things, and like really just making sure I'm okay before I do other things, I guess is where I'm at with that. I wrote a kid's book which was like 40,000 words.
It's impressive.
And I have read it.
You haven't read it?
I have read it.
You have read it? Okay, good.
Read the whole thing. So ambition for my 40s is to get that published, even if it's self-published, just so it's done, just ticked off.
Watch this space, everybody.
Yeah, you're going to help me, aren't you?
I absolutely am.
Thanks. I discovered and trained as a body worker.
Yes. Tell me more about this one. What
so
is
this
body
is
work?
To do with acupressure points within your body. And it's very intricate. Like, there's loads of different points. And it's the same as if you went to see someone who does acupuncture. But, like, I've learned lots of different sequences and different things to help you, like, calm down, or things to help you feel grounded, and even some things to help deal with, like, because if you've got pains in certain areas, it's often because there's like trauma living in there. So a lot of the body work can be around kind of helping people process that.
Yeah, that's clever. Another tool in the mental health toolkit.
Exactly. And you can self-administer that kind of stuff, but I do also do it on other people. Yeah. Where are we?
The mouses.
Oh, yeah. I found the loves of my life. So cheesy, but my friends.
Oh, yes, I'm big on that. Long live female friendship.
Yeah, some absolute total top babes. And again, that's probably been in the last 5 years, like through the divorce stuff. So shows who your friends are. But yeah, really, really happy about that, because I mentioned in Sarah's episode that I always found female friendships a bit tough.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like getting over that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. It's that sort of like semi-competition thing.
We're a lot more, well, I am a lot more worried about what women think of me than what men think of me.
Yeah.
And there's like, you put more pressure on yourself to be a better person with your female friends, don't you? But I think as a consequence, like, you get what you give. Like, if you put a lot into those friendships, which you do, then you get a lot out of them as well.
Yeah, and I think it's really about just creating time to connect.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy when you get into like family time and marriage and all that kind of stuff for those things to fall by the wayside, when actually that's when you need it more than ever, really. Yeah. So done that. I let go of some relationships that weren't good for me, and I now feel like I've got complete autonomy over my life.
Yeah.
So I get to choose what I eat, when I eat, where I live.
And that's a simple thing, isn't it? But like, it's so important to have that, you know, like to be able to pick those things yourself and not feel bad about it is like huge.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been really good. And I think actually probably for all my life I've never really felt completely in control of much.
Yeah.
Which seems really
silly.
Well,
because you always take everybody else's opinions into consideration and their needs first. And then when you finally look at yourself for the first time and go, I'm just going to eat what I want and live where I want, that's really liberating.
Yeah. And it's also scary.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's all doable. You don't need a partner or a man to be able to do those things, which I probably had been conditioned to think I did. Just by society, not necessarily anything else. Like, you are complete just on your own, and you can live on your own, and you can bring up your kids on your own. And yeah, it's nice to have a boyfriend or someone else in your life, but they don't have to become the new thing that you revolve around.
Yeah, that's right.
I know when to rest. And I also know when to work hard and push myself. And I know when to quit.
Yeah. Do you, with all of those things? Surely you can't know how to do all of those things.
I do.
Oh, you're a superhuman.
Nah, I think you just get to a point where you go, because I think with certain projects you can be like, I'm not quitting this. I'm seeing this through to the bitter end, because if I don't, the world will see I'm an absolute fucking loser.
Yeah. I know, we do that. Definitely.
And so there were a few large projects last year where I had to go, this is not working, and I'm going to quit. And not just that, but like relationships, you know, it could be for anything. Drink.
Yeah, well, yeah. And knowing but also knowing when to push yourself and work hard. Yeah,
like working with, I think I'd talk about it later, but working with your cycle is a good one. I know how to fail. It's fucking awful, but I do. And I know how to feel, which I've put is uncomfortable, but you kind of have to learn to sit with it and move through it.
Yeah.
And I think you can feel whilst also doing things that make you feel better. So like you might say like literally yesterday I found out I got divorced. Like it was finally done. It's going, right, I'm going to sit and feel this. But it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to wallow in it.
No, you don't have to, that's right.
And I probably did a bit. Like I sat and watched about 17 episodes of You.
Which is fine as well.
And ate a lot of bacon. And some strawberries.
Okay. Yeah.
But then, you know, this morning I was like, I know I need to get out and go for a lovely walk and do some yoga and do some meditation. And that isn't necessarily something I do every day, but when I do, I know I'll feel better for it.
I realised recently that feeling isn't your automatic reaction to things, is it? Like, the way that I deal with my feelings is to automatically stuff them down in the deepest possible depths of my body. And it's really hard work to actually feel your feelings.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Because really, when I say I was sitting and feeling, I was actually sitting and numbing and watching telly.
Yeah. Yeah. But then...
And eating bacon.
But that is your self-care as well.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a combination of the two things, isn't it? It's knowing when to embrace the feelings and when to take care of yourself. Yeah.
And I think as well, the subconscious needs time to process.
Yeah, true.
So what are you going to do? I'm just going to sit here and like wait for feelings to come up?
Yeah.
Or I can wait for them to come up and watch them telly.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
So that was where I was at with that. I have developed a keen interest in steps.
Yes, not the band.
No, as in steps on my watch. I've only done 5,400, so I might go for another walk after this.
That's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
No.
But I think little habits like that are very good for me.
Same. And for a lot of people. Like, I think that's really easily achievable, isn't it? To have your step goal. It is. Depends whether it's 10,000 or not. If your step goal's 5,000, it'll be easy for you.
Smashed it. I know how to play and use play to try scary things, which I think we've covered.
Yeah.
And I understand what love is and have experienced it in abundance.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, that's probably through the friends, which I then say I found my tribe of loonies.
Yeah. Which
is like, it's not just my very close friends, that's like a wider circle of crazy people that I feel like I can connect with.
I definitely feel like if somebody's got some sort of mental stuff going on, like I'm definitely more drawn to them. Love it. Love for people with something going on. Love it.
Yeah, for sure. And I have laughed until I cried and or wet myself with some of these loony people.
That's nice.
Yeah. I've fallen in love with sharing stories.
Oh, that's nice as well.
Yeah. And then some of them are short.
Yeah.
And lots of them are not my own.
Yeah.
And I think I'm really, really loving that. Particularly connecting with people through just chatting on the podcast and hearing their crack.
Hearing their stories, yeah. It is, it's great.
I'm really, really enjoying that. And I've got over the fact I got a B in GCSE English.
Oh, when I read this list in your newsletter, I thought that said I got a B in GCSE English. And I thought you must have gone back to school at some point or something and got you B in GCSE English, like in your 30s.
Can you imagine? And then being really proud of it.
And happy about it, yeah, which, that's great. But I'm pleased you got over it as well.
No, I got over the fact. Because I've always told myself that I can't be a writer because I didn't do well at English.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Your writing's great. Don't listen to the GCSEs.
Yeah, what do they know? I've learned how to just show up as I am. This has been probably the hardest. Because you always think, I need to prepare, or you put off preparing by procrastinating in every other way. And it's like, just write a few questions and show up. Because that's how stuff gets done.
I feel like your natural strengths come out that way as well. If you just show up as you are.
Yeah. And that's been a huge thing through like the yoga teacher training. They make you so tired that by the end of it, your ego is dead because apparently when you sleep, your ego dies. So that's the time when like your own shit gets out of the way and you can kind of process.
Interesting.
So when you're really tired, like Natalie always says this about teaching yoga, is she does her very best classes when she's nearly broken. Because she just has to show up with what she's got, and that's the stuff that connects with people.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like, it's not sustainable.
No. I mean,
being
that's one
permanently knackered is not sustainable.
No.
But equally, not putting too much pressure to be like, oh, I need to be this person or that person when I come and do this thing. It's like, no, I'm just gonna...
Yeah, and surely, like, you know, practice will make perfect with that, you know, like...
Certainly things like doing the podcast is a lot easier. That first time I was like nearly dying.
Yeah.
I think the last set I did was quite daunting because I was interviewing lots of very amazing women and I was really nervous about it. Like, I didn't sleep very well at all the night before, but, you know, they were great, and by the end of the day I was like, oh, that was cool. And you do need nerves as well.
Yeah, you do. They keep you going.
Yeah. But it's just knowing that, you know, you can't necessarily predict what's going to happen, so just...
May as well just turn up as
show up.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of preparation, but don't overdo it. I completely understand my cycle now. As in, I know when I'm ovulating and I know exactly to the day when my period's going to start.
That's great. A lot of people go through life having never done that, and I think it must affect your mood so much.
I think it does, and I think you spend a lot of time being like, why do I feel so shit on this? And I pinned it down to like day 21 of my cycle. I'm going to be in a bad mood. So I'm not.
It's very useful.
Going to plan to do the podcast that day.
Maybe you should share that with me as well, yeah.
Maybe we should try one day and I'll
day
be like...
21. Not talked about it today.
Or maybe that's the time that I need you most.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be really sad tomorrow. Can you, like... take me out?
Can you send me a text message that says I'm great?
No, I need to physically see you.
You need to see me, okay. Well, that's fine as well.
I need to see you.
Sit with you and go, you are great, don't worry.
We'll look at some trees.
Yeah.
I am grateful for my story now. So there might have been a time when I'm like, oh, what the fuck's this happened to me? And do-do-do-do-do. And it's like, it's all relevant, it's all required to get me where I am now.
The bad things are what makes us interesting. They are. I think that, like, it makes you look at yourself, you know?
Yeah, and you can also put things in perspective as well and be like, could be worse. I'm very grateful for therapy. I've moved into a grateful list.
You have
things
moved into a grateful list, yeah.
I learned that I'm grateful for therapy.
Yeah.
Probably at the beginning of my 30s, I would have been like, oh, therapy, no. And now I'm like, yeah, let's go deep.
Best thing ever.
I want to understand why I do these things. I've learned a lot about myself and my motivations, and yeah, half the time I share it here anyway, so it's no great secret.
That's true.
And through therapy, I discovered that I am enough.
Oh, you are. No, that's a nice one. You are enough, and I think everybody needs to realise that.
Everybody is. That's the thing. We're all like, oh, if I just do this one thing, or if I just hit this milestone or that one, it's like there is, like, the whole happily ever after. It's a kind of tongue-in-cheek name because it's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like all fairy tales have the good bits and the bad bits in them, and it's all a journey, and you know, the end of that story is the start of the next thing that might be shit. Yeah. But, you know, it's noticing the good bits along the way, I guess, and knowing that we're enough is one of those things. Yeah.
Good, I feel good now.
Does that feel good? You're looking forward to your 30s?
I'm looking forward to my 30s.
The rest of
who knows? I might get a B in GCSE English. Can't wait.
Great dental hygiene.
Yeah.
Might
care about my teeth a bit more, yeah. I'll be winning.
Yay. So that's sort of where I'm at now.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm now 40. Feel totally great about it. I've had lots of promising things told to me about my 40s that I can look forward to. Including things to do with the shape of my nose.
Right.
Which is that coming next week with Jambo?
Yeah.
He's going to explain how the shape of your nose can help you work out what to do in your 40s.
I'm tapping my nose.
The bridge of it, actually, aren't you?
Good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything, any new to-do lists for next quarter?
Yeah, so what can you check on me doing for next time?
Gotta buy some broccoli, or
I might. Who knows? Maybe I need to work on my VE and GCSE English and my dental hygiene. That could be my resolutions next. No, I've got. I'm not like. I'm just. You know what? I'm working on like just staying sane at the minute.
You have just moved in with your boyfriend.
Yeah, I have.
So that's huge.
It's been real one.
Yeah. Well, I hope by the time we next check in, should we check in at the summer equinox?
Oh yes, let's. I'm gonna feel loads better by then. I think I hate wintertime.
Winter's not fun, and moving is. There's like a list of 10 things that are the most stressful in life, and one of them is moving.
I move house all the time as well. That can't be good for me. Moving house, wintertime, I feel like my body has been like this for like months now, and I need to just relax a little bit.
So come to yoga on Saturday. We'll open you up. You'll get rid of the last of the stuff from your house and be fully settled in your wife's house. And you can tell us how it's going.
Yeah, I will.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time for another episode of Happily Ever After with me, Hannah Harvey. It would be wonderful if you could leave a review and subscribe. And of course, if you've got a friend who might enjoy this episode, then please do pass it on. For anything else, you can get in touch with me through either Instagram at mumsdays or through my website mumsdays.com.